Hello and welcome to everyone in the virtual classroom to learn fund flow statement. Today in the seventh lecture, that is seventh video lecture, let us take a small question having two new points given in this question. Let me draw your attention for the new points given in this question. See, this balance of profit and loss account given on the asset side. It's a new point of this question. Till the last question, in all the previous four questions, balance of profit and loss appropriation account were given on the liability side, while over here balance have been given on the asset side. And the second point, which is also coming for the first time in this topic that you have to deal with, that is this fourth point, interim dividend. Number of times you faced the proposed final dividend in our previous questions, but interim dividend you are going to deal with it for the first time over here in this question. And this first point is also a good point of this question. We will verify it later on. But first of all, let us verify the items of current assets and current liabilities. As usual for our working capital schedule preparation. Stock, debtors, bank balance. These are three items of current assets that we are going to report in our working capital schedule. Come on the liability side. Item of current liabilities, creditors, bills payable, as well as bank overdraft. These are the three items for current liabilities that we will be reporting in our working capital schedule. So three items of current assets and three items of current liabilities. Before we go for the working capital schedule slide, be careful about the column of years given over here. 18 first, then 17. So you have to be careful before you start the solution of the question. This sequence has been given a reverse sequence, 18 and then 17. And we have to prepare the fund flow statement and its related process for 2018. Working capital schedule for these three items of current assets and current liabilities. Have a look. Nothing is new. Three items of current assets, stock, debtors, bank balance, 17 followed by 18, total of current assets. Three items of current liabilities as I explained you in the balance sheet. Total of A, total of B, and then working capital A minus B. That gives the final answer. Increase is in working capital 6 lakh rupees. That can be confirmed over here also in this column 6 lakh. Increase is in working capital indicates the application of fund. So let us report it in the fund flow statement as an application of fund. See on the application side, very first item, increase is in working capital 6 lakh rupees. So this was the answer of working capital schedule and we reported it in the fund flow statement on application side. Let us verify the balance sheet once again for that new item. Debit balance of profit and loss account. As I told you earlier, till the last question. In all the 4 previous questions, balances of profit and loss appropriation account were given on the liability side of the balance sheet because they were the profit balances. They were representing the profit of the concerned year. And then afterwards, at the time of preparation of adjusted profit and loss account, we were putting the balance of last year as an opening balance of profit and loss appropriation account on the right hand side, on the minus side, on the credit side of adjusted profit and loss account. And the balance of profit and loss appropriation account for the current year, we were reporting it in the adjusted profit and loss account on the left hand side, on the plus side, on the debit side as a balance of the current year. What we were doing by reporting those two balances, just by reporting those two balances, ultimately we were reporting the net profit of the current year. And then afterwards, we were converting that net profit into fund profit, cash profit generated only from business operation related transactions, and that was the operating profit, fund profit generated from business operation, and ultimately we were showing it in the fund flow statement as a sources of fund. Now question is that how to report this debit balance of profit and loss appropriation which represents the loss, and that is why over here it has been given on the asset side because it is a loss balance. Last year 1 lakh rupees and current year nil. What does it mean? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? लास्ट ईयर कंपनी ने लॉस किया था 1 लाख रुपीस का और इस साल ये बैलेंस नील हो गई, तो इसका अर्थ मतलब ये हुआ कि इस साल कंपनी ने प्रॉफिट किया है 1 लाख रुपीस का, एंड दैट इज व्हाई द लॉस बैलेंस, द डेबिट बैलेंस ऑफ द लास्ट ईयर हैज बिकम नील इन द करंट ईयर. इस साल आपने 1 लाख रुपीस का प्रॉफिट किया है, तभी तो जाके पिछले साल की लॉस की बैलेंस नील हो गई. नाउ हाउ टू रिपोर्ट दिस प्रॉफिट ऑफ रुपीस 1 लाख, अल्टीमेटली द प्रॉफिट ऑफ रुपीस 1 लाख, we have to report it in the adjusted profit and loss account like we were reporting the profit for the last 4 questions in the adjusted profit and loss account by reporting the two balances of profit and loss appropriation given on the liability side of the balance sheet. Likewise over here also we have to report these two balances in the form of current year's profit in the adjusted profit and loss account. How can we do that? Let me show the adjusted profit and loss account. ऐसी सिचुएशन में आप इनको रिवर्स कर देंगे. पिछले क्वेश्चन तक जो हम करते थे उनके बजाय रिवर्स करना है. पिछले 4 क्वेश्चन तक हम, एज आई टोल्ड यू अर्लियर, पिछले साल की बैलेंस को आप राइट हैंड साइड माइनस साइड लिखते थे और इस साल की बैलेंस को, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस की बैलेंस को आप लेफ्ट हैंड साइड प्लस साइड लिखते थे. यहां ये लॉस की बैलेंस है तो यू हैव टू रिवर्स इट. मतलब पिछले साल की बैलेंस, ओपनिंग बैलेंस, क्लोजिंग बैलेंस ऑफ लास्ट ईयर मींस ओपनिंग बैलेंस फॉर द करंट ईयर. ये रिवर्स करेंगे मतलब आप यहां लिखेंगे ओपनिंग बैलेंस ऑफ प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस एप्रोप्रिएशन अकाउंट, दैट वाज द डेबिट बैलेंस, लॉस बैलेंस 1 लाख रुपीस. जो पिछले क्वेश्चन तक आप राइट हैंड साइड लिखते थे, माइनस साइड लिखते थे क्योंकि वो प्रॉफिट की बैलेंस थी. यहां ये लॉस को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है तो हमने रिवर्स कर दिया, इनको यहां लिखा लेफ्ट हैंड साइड प्लस साइड डेबिट साइड. एंड द क्लोजिंग बैलेंस मींस बैलेंस ऑफ द करंट ईयर इफ एनी, डेबिट बैलेंस, लॉस की बैलेंस. अगर कोई बैलेंस शीट में दी गई है तो आप इन्हें यहां लिखेंगे क्लोजिंग बैलेंस ऑफ प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस एप्रोप्रिएशन. जो डेबिट बैलेंस है, लॉस की बैलेंस है, आप इनको यहां लिखेंगे. इस क्वेश्चन में ये नील है. So just we have reversed the balances, the reporting of the balances of the profit and loss appropriation account given in the balance sheet because they were the loss balances, the debit balances. तो ultimately हमने यहाँ क्या लिखा प्रॉफिट के रूप में? See, on the plus side, you reported 1 lakh rupees. On the minus side, on the right hand side, you reported nothing because balance was nil. So plus side 1 lakh, minus side nil. It means ultimately in this adjusted profit and loss account, you wrote rupees 1 lakh on the left hand side on the plus side. It means you reported 1 lakh rupees in the form of profit. And now, as usual, we are going to convert this net profit into fund profit, cash profit generated only from business operation transactions, and ultimately from this 1 lakh to we will reach over here to this 10 lakh 80,000 operated adjusted fund profit generated from business operation. So profit of the year 1 lakh, as I explained you earlier. Last year debit balance, loss balance was rupees 1 lakh. Current year it is nil. So it means in the current year company must have earned a profit of rupees 1 lakh, and that is why the debit balance, the loss balance of the last year became nil in the current year. So in this adjusted profit and loss account, we have to report the profit of the year, which is rupees 1 lakh, that we have reported by this way. And now, conversion of this net profit into fund profit, cash profit generated from business operation, that we are going to start by taking the additional information points and then afterwards the reading of the balance sheet. I hope this point would be very clear how to report the debit balance, the loss balance of profit and loss appropriation account given in the balance sheet. Let us verify the additional information point one by one. First point, the company has sold off all the fixed assets for rupees 6 lakh in the beginning of the year. See the words, in the beginning of the year, and has credited the profit to capital reserve account. It's a good point. Have a look in the balance sheet. Fixed assets, very first item. On the asset side and on the liability side, provision for depreciation. See, provision for depreciation. It means company follows the depreciation fund system for this fixed assets. So before you start the working note for this item, always you have to verify whether the company follows the depreciation fund system or not. It affects your working note and the figures of the working note. Let us prepare a working note for this item. First working note, sale of fixed assets. Depreciation fund system has been given in the question, and you know, under the depreciation fund system, assets are always shown at its original cost in the books of account in the balance sheet. So cost price of fixed assets rupees 5 lakh in the beginning of the year. So balance of the last year. Now we have to decide the written down value in the current year at the time of selling. These assets have been sold in the beginning of the year of the current year. So the total accumulated depreciation, whatever it is, would have been given in the form of opening balance of depreciation fund account. If you check the balance sheet, opening balance of provision for depreciation is 1 lakh. You know, provision for depreciation, it is nothing but the third name of depreciation fund system. First name depreciation fund system, second name accumulated depreciation balance, and this is the third name provision for depreciation. So opening balance 1 lakh. You know, these assets have been sold in the beginning of the year. So total accumulated depreciation is there lying in the form of provision for depreciation account 1 lakh rupees. This is the total depreciation on this fixed asset lying in the form of opening balance for provision for depreciation. So original cost 5 lakh, total depreciation accumulated depreciation so far इतने सालों का इनका इकट्ठा किया गया डेप्रिसिएशन जो डेप्रिसिएशन फंड की ओपनिंग बैलेंस के रूप में आपको मिल रहा है 1 lakh deducted that gives the written down value in the current year 4 lakh. And now selling price given in additional point number 1 is 6 lakh. That gives the profit earned due to sale of this asset rupees 2 lakh. So by this way you have to decide the profit or loss that took place due to sale of fixed assets in the beginning of the year 2 lakh rupees. It's a good point. Let us record the journal entry. In your examination you are not supposed to give the journal entries. Just for your understanding purpose I am giving this journal entry. If it is very clear in your mind, then you can give the direct posting in the concerned ledger accounts. First journal entry. Bank account debited rupees 6 lakh. Depreciation fund account debited rupees 1 lakh. To fixed assets account credited rupees 7 lakh. Means including profit, we gave a credit of rupees 7 lakh. Otherwise, its original cost was 5 lakh. So 5 lakh rupees ought to be credited to the fixed assets account, but instead of that we credited 7 lakh rupees including profit of rupees 2 lakh, and that is why a second journal entry is required for the transfer of profit. And the second JE, fixed assets account debited rupees 2 lakh to capital reserve account credited 2 lakh, because over here profit has been transferred to capital reserve account. The remaining two entries belongs to balancing figure 1 for depreciation fund and 1 for fixed assets account. Let us give the posting of this journal entry in the concerned ledger accounts. Have a look. Fixed assets account. Opening balance 5 lakh. Closing balance 11 lakh. Posting of first journal entry. Bank account debited 6 lakh. Depreciation fund account debited 1 lakh. 2. Fixed assets account credited. Total of these two 7 lakh. Over here depreciation fund account, posting fixed assets account, transfer of depreciation 1 lakh. So bank debit, depreciation fund account debit to fixed assets account credited 7 lakh. Total of these two figure. Rules of posting, opposite narration, opposite amount. Posting of second journal entry for the transfer of profit. Fixed assets account debited to capital reserve account credited. This is the capital reserve account. Opening balance 1 lakh given in the balance sheet. Posting for transfer of profit rupees 2 lakh. Close the concerned ledger accounts and find out the balancing figure. Come on the fixed assets account first. Total of credit side looks bigger, 18 lakh. Put it on the debit side, 18 lakh. That gives the balancing figure rupees 11 lakh. Apply the common accounting knowledge, common accounting sense. Common accounting sense, what it could be. This must be the purchases made during the year. JE, as we already passed in that working note of sale of fixed assets account debited to bank account credited purchases. Close the depreciation fund account, provision for depreciation account. Debit side looks bigger, 4 lakh. Put it on the credit side, 4 lakh. That gives a balancing figure of rupees 3 lakh. This must be the depreciation of the current year. Under the depreciation fund system, credit for the current year's depreciation always given to depreciation fund account, provision for depreciation account. See, at the end of the year, company was using fixed assets worth rupees 11 lakh. तो इस पर कुछ न कुछ तो depreciation लिखना ही पड़ेगा. So this 3 lakh is nothing but the depreciation provided on this closing balance of fixed assets rupees 11 lakh. So 3 lakh is a depreciation for the current year, the journal entry for which profit and loss account debited to provision for depreciation account credited, as we already passed in our working note for sale of fixed assets. So we close the two ledger account related with sale of fixed assets. Fund flow impact. Come on the fixed assets account, title came bank 6 lakh, indicates the sale of fixed assets sources of fund. Over here, title came bank, purchase is 11 lakh, application of fund. So two items from this fixed assets account affect the FFS. DF, depreciation fund, transfer of depreciation does not affect the fund flow process. Profit transferred to capital reserve doesn't affect the process of fund flow. So two items from fixed assets account, both related with fund flow statement, one source 6 lakh, 11 lakh application. While provision for depreciation account, title came profit and loss, current year's depreciation. You know it very well, it's a non-cash item. So we have to add back this 3 lakh rupees in the adjusted profit and loss account on the left hand side, on the plus side. Let us do it. Fund flow statement first. Two items that we have to report. Purchases of fixed assets 11 lakh as an application of fund. Why? Sale of fixed assets as sources of fund 6 lakh rupees. Adjusted profit and loss account, depreciation of the current year rupees 3 lakh as a non-cash item. Let us add back it. Depreciation rupees 3 lakh. So this was for the sale of fixed assets. Item number 1 of the question. Let us verify the additional information once again. For the remaining point of the question. Point number 2. The company has given fully paid up bonus shares to its equity shareholders from capital reserve account. See here, company has not given the ratio of bonus issue. So how can we decide the amount of bonus that has been given? Let us verify the capital reserve account. If we can find any clue from that account. This is the capital reserve account, opening balance of 1 lakh rupees. Then we got rupees 2 lakh in the form of transfer of profit incurred on sale of fixed assets. And then instruction is that the company has given fully paid up bonus shares to its equity shareholders from capital reserve account. Now total available amount in this account is 3 lakh versus no closing balance. कोई closing balance नहीं है. What does it mean? It means entire available balance of rupees 3 lakh has been utilized to give fully paid up bonus shares to equity shareholders. Nothing is new. So journal entries, capital reserve account debited 3 lakhs to bonus on equity shareholders account credited 3 lakhs. Then bonus on equity shareholders account debited to equity share capital account credited 3 lakh. So ultimately it looks capital reserve account debited 3 lakhs to equity share capital account credited 3 lakhs. Capital reserve account over 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, nothing is there, no closing balance, entire balance was utilized for issuing bonus shares to equity shareholders. Let us close the equity share capital account. Now nothing is left. Opening balance 1 lakh. Bonus got 3 lakhs from capital reserve. 4 lakhs. Debit side also 4 lakhs. Closing balance 4 lakhs. So no balancing figure. Does it affect our FFS process? No. Bonus always being given free. CR debited, equity share capital credited. So it does not affect our process of fund flow statement, neither the FFS nor the adjusted profit and loss account. Let us verify additional information once again for the next point of the question given over there, point number 3. The company sold off its investment during the year for rupees 1,20,000. Sold off its investment during the year for rupees 1,20,000. Let us verify the balance sheet. How much investment was there at the cost price which has been sold off in the current year for rupees 1,20,000. Come on the asset side. 10% investment. Opening balance 1 lakh. Closing balance nil. It means entire opening balance of rupees 1 lakh has been sold off in the current year for rupees 1,20,000 given in this additional information point number 3. Let us prepare a working note and then afterwards concern ledger accounts. Have a look, working note number 2 for sale of investment. Selling price 1,20,000 as given in that point number 3, less cost price that we got from the balance sheet, that gives the profit rupees 20,000. Journal entry, bank account debited rupees 1,20,000 to investment account credited rupees 1,20,000. And then for transfer of profit, investment account debited to profit and loss account credited 20,000 for transfer of profit. Let us give the posting impact in the concerned ledger account of the investment. Have a look on the investment account. Opening balance 1 lakh. Posting of our first journal entry. Bank account debited to investment account credited 120. Then the posting of the second journal entry for transfer of profit. Investment account debited to profit and loss account credited. Account is over 120, no closing balance. Fund flow impact. Title came bank as a sources of fund. This 1,20,000 would be reported in the fund flow statement as a sources of fund. Over here title came profit and loss. For transfer of profit, it's a profit received in cash, but it's a non-operating income. And you know the two tests that we have to apply for the adjusted profit and loss account. Does it look like a cash transaction? Yes, it is a cash transaction. Profit has been received in cash. Second, does it look like an operating transaction? No, it is a non-operating transaction. ये हर दिन का transaction नहीं है. It happens once in a year. So being a non-operating transaction income, this should be reported in the adjusted profit and loss account by giving the reverse impact. कंपनी ने प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस में प्रॉफिट क्रेडिट करके प्रॉफिट बढ़ाया था, हम कम कर देंगे by reporting it on the minus side, on the right hand side, on the credit side of adjusted profit and loss account. Let us report it. Fund flow statement first. Sale of investment. Have a look. Second item, 1,20,000. Then adjusted profit and loss account. Profit 20,000. Come on the right hand side, minus side, credit side, profit on sale of investment 20,000. So this was for sale of investment. Let us verify additional information once again for the remaining points. The fourth point, the new point. of the question. यह आपको पहली बार मिल रहा है, पिछले 4 क्वेश्चन में शायद ऐसा पॉइंट नहीं था. I am reading the fourth point. During the year, the company paid rupees 1 lakh on account of interim dividend. In our previous question, final proposed dividend was given. Over here, interim dividend has been given. What is the meaning of interim dividend and what is the process? You know, power of interim dividend has been given to the board of directors. A complete power has been given. In between the year, at any point in time, if board of directors management think that business is going very well, company is earning a good profit, simultaneously company is having a very good cash position also, because you know dividend is to be paid in cash. So with profit you need a good cash position also. If that is the position of the business, then in between the year, board of directors management of the company may declare the interim dividend at any point in time during the year. So management board of directors can take the decision, simultaneously it can make the payment also without needing the consent of shareholders. मतलब पूरे पावर्स इंटरिम डिविडेंड के कंपनी के बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को मैनेजमेंट को दिए गए हैं, which was not the case for the proposed dividend. You know, over the proposed final dividend, board of directors can propose the only final dividend at the end of the year. It cannot be paid until and unless you receive the consents of the shareholders, जो सिर्फ अगले साल मिलने वाली एजीएम में ही कंसेंट मिल सकती थी. यहां तो पूरा पावर्स दे दिया गया है. ड्यूरिंग द ईयर मैनेजमेंट कैन टेक द डिसीजन फॉर द इंटरिम डिविडेंड, simultaneously immediately it can make the payment also without requiring any consent from the shareholders. So this is the difference between interim dividend and final proposed dividend. I hope it is very clear the difference between interim and final proposed dividend. Let us record the transaction of this interim dividend. Normally FMCG sector companies, you know, and IT sector, information technology sector companies are very well known for the declaration of interim dividend. First journal entry. Dividend is a distribution, appropriation of profit. तो पहले profit में से लेना होगा. Profit and loss appropriation account debited rupees 1 lakh to interim dividend account credited rupees 1 lakh. Then payment. Immediately payment can be paid. Interim dividend account debit to bank account credit rupees 1 lakh. Let us give the posting in the interim dividend account. Have a look, interim dividend account. यहाँ कोई ओपनिंग बैलेंस क्लोजिंग बैलेंस होने का सवाल नहीं है. फर्स्ट जर्नल एंट्री, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अप्रोप्रिएशन अकाउंट डेबिटेड 1 lakh to interim dividend account credited 1 lakh, and then second, interim dividend account debit to bank account credit 1 lakh. Account is over. Fund flow statement impact. Title came bank indicates the application of fund flow statement application side. Title came profit and loss appropriation. In the first journal entry, it was a non-cash item. So being a non-cash item as well as being a non-operating item, this would be added back in the current year's adjusted profit and loss account on the left hand side on the plus side. Let us report it. Fund flow statement first. Come on the application side. Interim dividend paid 1 lakh rupees. Then adjusted profit and loss account, left hand side, plus side. Second item, interim dividend rupees 1 lakh. So this was the impact of the interim dividend. It was a new point of this question. Let us verify the balance sheet. Additional information. Point number 5. Last point of the question. It has provided rupees 5 lakh for income tax for the current year. Number of times income tax was already there in our, I think, all the previous question. So there is no need of any explanation. But even though this is the working note for the income tax, first journal entry provided rupees 5 lakh tax for the current year. So current year's provision, profit and loss account debited to income tax provision account credited. Normally till the last question income tax payment was given, and after giving the posting impact of the payment we were deciding the provision of the current year, while over here current year's provision has been given. Once you give the posting impact you will get the current year's payment, जिसकी journal entry बनेगी income tax provision account debited to bank account credited. Let us give the posting impact in the income tax provision account. Have a look. Income tax provision, opening balance 2 lakh, closing balance 5 lakh. Posting of the first journal entry, profit and loss account debited to income tax provision account credited 5 lakhs. Total of credit side 7 lakh. Put it on the debit side 7 lakhs. We are getting a balancing figure of rupees 2 lakh, which must be the current year's tax payment. तो पिछले साल आपने जितना प्रोविजन किया था जो ओपनिंग बैलेंस के रूप में यहाँ मिल रहा है, exactly the same amount you have paid in the current year for the provision that you had made in the last year as a closing balance, which was an opening balance for the current year and has been paid in the current year. तो exact matching हो गया 2 versus 2. Normally exact matching नहीं होता है, कभी ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा तो कभी थोड़ा कम भी होता है, मगर over here it is exactly the same amount that has been paid equivalent with that of an opening balance provision. FFS impact. Bank application of fund rupees 2 lakh in the fund flow statement. Current year's provision 5 lakh as a non-cash item will be shown in the adjusted profit and loss account on the left hand side. Let us give the impact. Fund flow statement first. Application of fund. Last item. Tax is paid rupees 2 lakh. Adjusted profit and loss account. Current year's tax provision being a non-cash item will be added back. Provision for taxation 5 lakh. So this was for income tax provision item, which was the last item of the additional information. We completed all the items of additional information. Let us verify the balance sheet for the remaining items. Reading of the balance sheet. Come on the asset side. Fixed assets over, investment over, stock, debtors, bank balance item of current assets be reported in the working capital schedule. Debit balance of profit and loss account, which represents the loss, we already reported and discussed in detail for the adjusted profit and loss account reporting. Come on the liability side. Equity share capital already over. Capital reserve already over. बोनस देने में इनका यूज किया गया. General reserve, something is there. Opening balance 3 lakh versus closing balance 4 lakh. What does it mean? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि during the current year, company has made a saving of rupees 1 lakh for which the JE that would have been passed profit and loss appropriation account debit to general reserve account credit 1 lakh rupees. And that is why the opening balance, which was 3 lakh, became 4 lakh at the end of the year. But it's a non-cash item, it's a non-operating item, and that is why, being a non-cash and non-operating item, it should be added back in the current year's adjusted profit and loss account left hand side. See, transfer to general reserve 1 lakh. Once again, balance sheet verification. After general reserve, debentures, over here something is there. Opening balance 1 lakh, closing balance 3 lakh. What does it mean? It means during the year, company must have made an further issue for an amount of rupees 2 lakh, and that is why opening balance, which was 1 lakh, became 3 lakh at the end of the year. Journal entry that would have been passed: bank account debited to debentures account credited 2 lakh. It indicates the sources of fund: 2 lakh rupees received due to issue of debenture, sources side 2 lakh rupees. Once again the balance sheet reading: after debenture, creditors, bills payable, item of current liabilities, provision for tax over, provision for depreciation over, bank overdraft over. So this was the reading of the balance sheet. Now we have to close the two accounts. One is adjusted profit and loss, and then afterwards the fund flow statement. Let us close this adjusted profit and loss account. Now nothing is left. All the items we verified. Total of debit side, plus side, left hand side looks bigger, 11 lakh. Put it on the right hand side, minus side, 11 lakh. That gives a balancing figure of rupees 10 lakh 80,000. This is the adjusted profit, fund profit, cash profit received from business operation. And this would be reported in the fund flow statement on the sources side. Let me draw your attention. Normally, you are supposed to get this balancing figure over here on the right hand side, which would be the adjusted profit, fund profit received in cash. मगर कभी कभी कोई रेयर केस में ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि ये टोटल यहाँ का बड़ा हो, राइट हैंड साइड का माइनस साइड का आप यहाँ लिखेंगे, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड प्लस साइड, तो बैलेंसिंग फिगर आपको यहाँ मिलेगा. व्हाट डज इट मीन? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि एडजस्टेड ऑपरेटिंग लॉस कहा जाएगा ये. एंड बीइंग एन एडजस्टेड ऑपरेटिंग लॉस, ये आप रिपोर्ट करेंगे फंड फ्लो स्टेटमेंट में एप्लीकेशन साइड. नॉर्मली तो आपको एडजस्टेड प्रॉफिट ही मिलेगा वंस यू कंप्लीट दिस अकाउंट, एंड यू आर सपोज टू रिपोर्ट इट एज ए सोर्सेज ऑफ फंड इन द फंड फ्लो स्टेटमेंट. मगर कोई एक्सेप्शनल केस में ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि ये टोटल बड़ा हो, तो आप यहाँ लिखेंगे लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, फिर आपको जो मिलेगा वो एडजस्टेड ऑपरेटिंग लॉस मिलेगा, जिसको आप फंड फ्लो स्टेटमेंट में एप्लीकेशन साइड रिपोर्ट करोगे. इट मे बी एन एक्सेप्शनल केस, मगर ये आपको पता होना चाहिए कि अगर ऐसा हुआ तो रिपोर्टिंग कैसे करेंगे. ओके, सो वी गॉट एडजस्टेड प्रॉफिट, फंड प्रॉफिट, cash profit received from business operation 10 lakh 80,000. Let us report it in the fund flow statement on the sources side. Have a look on the last item on the sources side. Fund from business operation, that is operating profit received from business operation 10 lakh 80,000. All the items got over, make the total 20 lakhs. 20 lakhs total of fund flow statement also get confirmed, same 20 lakhs, 20 lakhs. So fund flow statement having a total of rupees 20 lakhs. So this was a small question, but having two good new items: debit balance of profit and loss account as well as interim dividend. First point was also a good point, selling of fixed assets in the beginning of the year, especially in the context of how to decide the profit happened due to sale of fixed assets. I hope all these new points would be very clear in your mind. And still, if it is not clear, if any doubt is there in your mind, please do watch this video lecture number 7 once again and digest those new points very clearly in your mind. Thank you.